Yeah, napanood namin kayo kagabi. And ang sabi nga ng Malacanang, your team was proposing that Metro Manila be reverted to MECQ.
MECQ.
The more
Let me clarify. Yeah.
Yes.
We presented to the president, and we were not the only guests, obviously. And when we were requested to present, we gave the scenario, two scenarios. One is, well, two options actually, policy options. One is, of course, to maintain GCQ in the NCR, the National Capital Region, with the requirement that there would be more effective local lockdowns, a strict adherence to border controls, and of course, scaled up testing, tracing, treatment, and isolation. The second option, of course, and we put this as a second option, was also was to consider the MECQ, given the very high transmissions, viral transmissions happening in the region. We provide the context for the president, no? And the context was this: that there is a surge, and it's a serious surge, ladies and gentlemen, no? And the surge is in two. Well, the bulk of this surge, where we see it most happening, is in two places: Cebu and in Metro Manila. The epicenter is obviously in Metro Manila, and to give you an idea. Just a month ago, we were at 1.2. Actually, for just 3 weeks ago, we were 1.2 for R naught. Okay. Again, the R naught, no, because that's the only, that's the only tool we use really for our analysis, for our modeling, and the R naught as of yesterday was 1.75. So that's a big leap, no? In less than a month. And you can see that
1.28.
obviously in the increase in number of cases, in our hospital capacity being burdened, in the discussion you just had 5 minutes ago with a very good doctor.
Linawin ko lang, because you mentioned linawin ko lang, are you referring to national or Cebu or Metro Manila?
Yeah, okay, yeah, good. Yeah. Okay, that's the national. That's the what I mentioned was the R naught for the nation. And by the way, the R naught for the nation is also the R naught for the National Capital Region, 1.75. Okay. So all of the R naughts increased. There was no decrease anywhere. Everything increased, and the only decrease we saw was in Cebu. And we wanted to frame the discussion this way, that our interventions, our collective response in Cebu is working. And in Cebu, it's quite dramatic. From more than 2, imagine more than 2. We had this discussion a few weeks ago, and now it's around 1.3. So that's kind of significant. And you will see that the situation is normalizing. We're not yet out of the woods, but obviously the trends, and that's the important point I want to emphasize then to the president, the trends were downward. We're going down.
But
they were ECQ.
For NCR.
But they were ECQ.
And so we talked about the option of ECQ because we had a projection, a modeling exercise. We showed the president that if we went on a modified enhanced community quarantine, we could bring down the 1.8, 1.7 R naught to 1.1 by in about 15 to 20 days. So that was why there was some discussion about it, because it would have drastically reduced the R naught, quickly bring down the trends. But then again, we all know that MECQs, ECQs, these kinds of drastic quarantines are hard on the socio-economic life of the country.
Yes,
they're blunt instruments that are problematic to use over a certain period of time. And so all of that put together, although some of the discussion I can't discuss here, because obviously they were in confidence,
Professor,
but the general theme was trying to balance lives and livelihoods.
Sir, for me, a very, very elementary question lang. Kasi sabi kanina ni Professor Rai, we have had a surge and our naught has gone up. But at the same time kasi, just some confusion for me, how to look at the numbers. whenever we see numbers going up, we are always told that is expected because the testing capacity is going up. So hindi ako personally hindi ko malaman tuloy. Should I be getting worried that numbers are going up, or should I be feeling good that numbers are going up because that means that the testing is getting better?
Yes.
Yes, for that, what we do is we compare not just the numbers, but with the positivity rate. And one of our collaborators, the Father Nicanor, he checks the positivity rate, and that gives us an indication if it's due to that increased testing or if there is a genuine surge. And based on the testing, we saw that there is a genuine surge in NCR. So that's what we noticed. So increasing positivity rate from somewhere like 6 to 7%, and now it's up to 10 to 11%, and that's a significant increase in NCR. Yes, and it's going with the trend in the increase in cases. Because like you said, we expect cases to increase, are not, pero is it due to the testing? And yes, we're getting more testing now. We have 24,000 tests na na-reach natin yun. And I think the numbers are increasing based on the test center counts. We have more test centers now, and they're producing a lot of tests. So we could be reaching 30,000 tests soon. So this is a positive improvement on our part, on the government's part. So we want to see that go up even more. As we, relax certain sectors of the economy, maybe later on. I mean, maybe not now, but later on, we need to do additional tests.
So wait, the surge is a function of the rise in tests. Is that it? When you say
the
yes,
surge
definitely there's a surge
is a function.
Positivity. Yeah.
The surge is a function of the rise in new cases. Okay, let's be very clear. It's important policy analysis. You have problem definition. There's a surge. There are so many new cases right now, and the virus is spreading. And whether you look at the R0 or the positivity rate, okay, which shows you the percentage of people who are test positive. Okay, and right now we have increased our positivity rate since our last conversation 2 weeks ago, from something like 7 to something like 10 or 11 now. And that's huge. No, that's huge. It used to take at least 2 or 3 weeks for the positivity rate to go up. Now it's up. So this is not just about testing. It's largely a surge in new cases, and we have to be mindful of that. We have to tell the public that it's going up. We all need to help each other bring those transmissions down.
Well,
Can you make a direct relationship between the surge and the GCQ that has been in place for the last 1.5 months na ba? Or 1 month? No, 1 month. Yeah.
Yes, actually, we can make a direct relationship, and we even showed it in one of our plots when we presented in Malacanang. We take the average R0 since GCQ, or actually since ECQ, MECQ, GCQ, and there has been an increase. In fact, nung nasa ECQ tayo, the NCR reproduction number, yung R0 niya, was around 1. It was hovering around 1. So at that point, we could even say that the curve was flattened. Pero hindi siya na-sustain. So we needed it to be sustained for at least 2 weeks before we could say na na-flatten talaga. Kasi it was, like nabi natin kanina, bending around 1, almost there but not quite flat enough. Ngayon, since then, nung MECQ to GCQ, nag-increase na siya. And now it's around 1.7 more or less. I mean, I think maybe it went down a little bit, but it's around that range. So from 1 to 1.7 ECQ to GCQ. So we can make that inference. Sa Cebu naman, it's the opposite. From nung nag-MECQ sila before, nasa 2, umabot siya sa 2, and then now it's down to about 1.14. And we're hoping that the gains can be sustained now. I think they are a lot more proactive now in Cebu. They're a lot more optimistic about how they're managing the pandemic there.
Well, in fact,
I correct my earlier statement. Excuse me. I correct my earlier statement. It's 1.14. So this is the new data that Guido, no? This is not
Okay,
1 point, it's
okay.
1.14. That's incredible. It's even more incredible than I described earlier. So that means it's working. These interventions are working. And so, you know, the ECQ or MECQ may be a blunt instrument, but in Cebu, it's working.